Hey lovely ladies, it's Jessie Danson with Danson for Joy, and I'm coming to you in the evening after my kids are in bed, and I'm thinking about tomorrow's homeschool. And the style of homeschooling we're doing this year, I'm basically teaching the same things to my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old. We're saying they're in kindergarten and second grade because they are, but I've been able to combine a lot of what we do, which makes it so much easier for me because right now I have a 3-year-old and baby twins, they're 1, so I need to condense our school day into their nap times. At least that's what's working best for us right now. So I have implemented the concept of a morning basket or a morning collective. I got this idea mainly, I think, from Jody Maccabee, who's an author with Wild and Free, and I love what she's been doing with her 5 children, so I wanted to give it a try and see if it would work with my 5 children. So we start in the morning when the twins go down for their morning nap with this basket, and I will show you what is in it. We start out with a Bible story, and currently for Bible stories we're using the Alice in Bible Land books. I've collected these from the thrift stores. They were written in the 80s, I believe, and they are excellent. And because it's about a little girl named Alice, my girls love this. And they are written in poetry form, very well written, very well illustrated, and very accurate scripturally, which is what I truly appreciate about them. So we'll read the story, and then I will find the corresponding scripture. I try to mark it the night before so that it's easy to find, and we will read the passage in the Bible. That way we can discuss if the story varied from the scriptural account, which thankfully with the Alice in Bible Land stories, it's not that different. They are very good at keeping it spot on with the scripture for the most part. So at least though we're reading the actual Bible account. Oh, and we do start with prayer if I didn't mention that. And then after we read our Bible story, we practice a hymn together. I really want my girls to learn hymns, to memorize some of them. They're just such a rich part of our Christian heritage, and at our church we sing old-fashioned hymns. So the hymnal we're using for our homeschool is Songs and Hymns from the Heart. It's by North Valley Publications. I'll try to link it in the description box below. But we just started at the beginning. So our first week of school we learned My Savior's Love, and this, our second week of school, we're learning Come Thou Fount, and I am enjoying this part of our homeschool so much. Then I'll pull out a dry erase board and a dry erase marker, and I'll write down the day of the week, the date, the month, date, year, and talk about if there's anything significant going on. The day of my filming this, it is 9/11, so my children actually didn't know about it until today as far as what we remember on Patriot Day. So today I got to tell them about that. And so this gives this idea of writing down the date and showing them accomplishes multiple things, like they're getting to see me spelling out the words, they're getting familiar with the days of the week, the months, what date it is, getting a sense of time and significant days as we go through the year. And then we celebrate whatever season it is by reading a poem or a picture book that is related to that season. So we have these acrostic poem books for each season. I've been loving these so much, and we'll usually just read a couple of them in a day, but it takes a word that corresponds with the season and does a little descriptive poem of it. So we're really enjoying this, or we could do alternatively a storybook or something. And then we move on to Spanish. And I couldn't do Spanish flashcards because I have no frame of reference for Spanish pronunciation except for like what I was familiar with growing up in California. So when I took foreign language in school, I did German. So if you showed me a German word I didn't know, I could sound that out and pronounce it. But Spanish, not so much. So the really cool thing about this Usborne Listen and Learn for Spanish words is that you can press the words that are on the book and it will give you an audible pronunciation. So, mi cuerpo. We are learning about my body. We are learning about eyes, cheeks, arms, chin, all the different parts of the body. And it's been so helpful to hear
La
how each word is pronounced. And we have so much fun with this. We just add a couple words each day and review what we have already done. And it's like a game. Like, we'll create mechanisms for remembering. How are we going to remember that las orejas means ears, or la mejilla means cheek? And it's kind of funny, like for la mejilla, my daughter was like, imagine you have llama cheeks, la mejilla. So it's like bizarre things like that, but it's working. We're remembering these words, and we love to quiz each other back and forth. Like the girls love to take the book and press a word and have me try to identify what it is. So it's been great for all of us learning Spanish. And I'm so excited because we have so many friends who speak Spanish, and it's going to be awesome to have more points to connect with them on as far as us knowing some Spanish too. All right, for math, we are doing Life of Fred. And I don't even know if anybody I personally know is doing Life of Fred, but one of my friends told me about it, and it sounded like it would be the perfect fit for our family. Math was always a challenge for me. It was hard for me, and I did not want to go through that same laborious process with my children as I homeschooled them. Life of Fred is written in story form, and it's very quirky and creative, imaginative, and rather unexpected, and I'm really enjoying it. So chapter 1, early in the morning, Fred is looking at what time it is and figuring out how many hours it is until he can get up to go jogging. And there's so many math concepts woven into his story. My girls are already learning the concept of algebra, and we're just learning addition here, but it's already introducing those little seeds that it can build upon as we go on. It's brilliant, and I'm enjoying it so much. I feel like I'm really gonna learn, like truly learn math now and retain it, because so many times learning math in school, I was like, when am I ever gonna need this? I don't even know why I'm learning this. What practical use is there? And I think a lot of us had that kind of attitude toward math. But in this, Fred needs the math and then he learns it. So there's already the practical application. When it comes time for them to answer questions, it's called Your Turn to Play. And there's only like 3 or 4 questions, but the way that it's done, that's enough. Like, there's not gonna be a worksheet of 50 addition questions for them to practice. Now, we do often do more than is laid out in the questions because we're having so much fun with it, and I will use that wipe clean board for us to write on with the markers. And it's just been a really fun experience, and I am so excited to continue on and learn with my children as we go through this. So then we do picture books, and here are a couple that we've read this week. Hattie and the Wild Waves, and this is a very historically rich book in the sense that it talks about excuse me, this little girl Hattie who grew up in a wealthy German immigrant family, and I loved this. I found this absolutely fascinating, and I look forward to reading more books like this with my children. Sorry. And then this one, Nora's Castle. This little girl named Nora had seen this castle in the distance. Everyone told her it was abandoned, but she wanted to go and find out if it was really abandoned. She found all these people who lived there, but it was like little animals who lived there, or the lady in the painting, things like that. So it's very imaginative, and we enjoyed that one too. And then I read chapter books out loud, and we'll usually just do 1 or 2 chapters depending on how quickly it's going, how much time we have, how well the children are listening. But I do let them draw or do something with their hands that's not going to be too distracting. And 2 of the books excuse me, that we've been reading are The Wheel on the School. We've been reading this one for a long time. We had a lot of breaks in our reading of it, but it's been so good. It's about these children in maybe the Netherlands, I'm not sure, but they want to put a wagon wheel on the roof of their school so that a stork can come build its nest, because in the history of their town, there used to be lots of storks and now there are none. It's a fishing town and the children want the storks to come back. So this whole thing is about them getting a wheel on the school so that the storks will come back to their town. And it's beautifully written. And then we've been reading 3 Tales of My Father's Dragon. This one is a really quick read. It has pretty large font and lots of pictures. And this one's extremely imaginative and really fun, and so we've definitely been enjoying that as well. So that is our morning time, and we're usually able to accomplish all of that while the babies are taking their naps. And then we break, have lunch, and then the idea is to like return and do our reading lessons in the afternoon and some notebooking, which I will make another video about eventually. But that's how we have started our homeschool year, and I know this is going to change and grow, and things are going to look different after a few months or seasons, so I can do updated videos in the future. But as we begin our homeschool year this autumn of 2018, this is what our morning basket looks like. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you, and I hope you ladies are having a blessed day.